I'm Gail, and welcome to Betsy and Gail's mini module on subject-verb agreement.
And I'm Betsy. Today's lesson will teach you simple future tense for subject-verb agreement.
That's right, Betsy. And for today's lesson, we'll also review what a verb is, whether it's an action or state of being verb, and how to conjugate a verb in the future tense.
Okay, Gail, so let's begin.
I think so.
Verb is a part of speech. There are a total of 8 parts of speech, and the verb is the one that expresses an action or a state of being.
That's correct, Betsy. And the simple future tense is made with the helping or auxiliary verbs will or shall, or a form of to be with going, followed by the main verb in its infinitive form.
Okay, let's see this. Marta will kick the ball. So will is the auxiliary verb and kick is the verb. And it is an action verb since it shows what someone or something is going to do.
What Marta's going to do, right, Betsy?
Exactly.
Let's look at the next sentence. Aiden will be a handsome man. Will is the auxiliary verb, and the main verb is be. And to be is a state of being verb. State of being verbs do not express action. They link the subject to the object in a sentence. That's why they're called linking verbs.
Yes, Gail. An example of linking verbs include appear, be, become, feel, grow, look, remain, seem, smell, sound, stay, and taste. But there are many more state of being verbs than those I just mentioned. And also, you've got to be careful because many of the above verbs can also be action verbs.
That's very true, Betsy. So, let me give an example. The audience will sound shocked. In this sentence, will sound links the audience to being shocked. So it's a state of being verb.
I see. What about this one? The campanologist will sound the church bells. In this case, will sound is an action that will happen. So, what is it? An action verb.
And you know what, Betsy? A campanologist is a bell ringer, like at churches. So let's review the following sentences and determine whether the main verbs are action or state of being verbs.
All right, number 1. Sweet Tooth will be a unique paso fino. Will be, is that an state of being or an action verb? What do you guys think?
To be is state of being.
That's right, it's a state of being verb. Good, Gail. What about
this paso fino is going to have a fine step. The auxiliary verb is going to, and the main verb is have. To have is an action verb.
Good.
And it means
that the paso fino will walk a fine step when it grows up, Gail.
That's right, when it grows up. Okay, let's look at number 3. She shall walk with a fast 4-beat pace. Shall is the helping verb, and walk is the main verb. And walk is an action verb.
Good. Let's look at number 4. With a paso largo, she will trot up to 30 miles per hour. The verb there is will trot. Will is the auxiliary verb and trot is the main verb. And to trot is to walk with one foot after the other. And it definitely is what?
An action verb.
Correct. You're due number 5 now, Gail.
Okay. Sweet Tooth is going to be powerful. The auxiliary verb is going to. And the main verb is be. And we all know that be is what, Betsy?
A state of being verb.
That's correct.
Good. Let's go to the next one. Sweet Tooth will impress many enthusiasts. All right, let's see. Will is the auxiliary verb, and impress is a what?
Well, it's a mental action.
And therefore, it is an action verb. Good, Gail.
That's right. Now let's look at the last sentence. Betsy and Gail will love Sweet Tooth. Will is the auxiliary verb, and love is a mental action, so it is definitely an action verb. And we will love all horses, right, Betsy?
Bet your horses we do, and we always will, Gail. So remember that a verb tense tells when an action or state of being takes place.
And the future tense expresses an action or makes a statement about something occurring in the future.
Correct, Gail. And the future tense is formed with will or shall. It can also be formed using is or are, depending on the subject with going to and the main verb.
Oh, like we are going to talk about the future tense?
That's right, Gail. Our students will learn this soon. Let's go.
So, keeping in mind that the future tense tells actions or states of beings for future actions, let's review the following sentences.
All right. The children are going to leave for school. That sentence says that children are going to leave soon. And leave is the main verb.
Yes, Betsy, and the second sentence is David and Samuel shall take a bus every day. Shall take means that the boys will go in the bus every day. That's future.
That's right. What about this one? Roxana is going to eat cereal for breakfast. Going to eat is a future tense. Roxana will eat a good breakfast.
Let's look at the next sentence. Manuel will ride his bike to school. Will ride is the future tense, and Manuel is smart. If he will ride his bicycle, he will not get into traffic.
Anyway, number 5. Jaime will fish with his grandfather next Saturday. Will fish is the future tense. I bet Jaime will have fun with his grandfather.
And now for the last sentence. The girls shall swim and dive at the community pool. Shall swim and dive.
All right, so let's go back a little bit and check this out. Says, so, now we know about action and state of being verbs, verb tenses, and the future tense. Here are some useful tips. The future tense uses will or shall.
Or it can also be formed using is or are, depending on the subject, with going to and the main verb. You
Are going to.
he, she, or it.
Is going to.
We,
Are going to.
they.
Are going to. Okay, so let's look at the examples. In the singular, I am going to run, or Edgardo will run. I shall swim, or Maria is going to swim. The article will explain, or the article is going to explain. And in the plural form, we are going to run. They will run. We shall swim. They are going to swim. And the articles will explain, or the articles are going to explain.
Yes, Betsy. And in the singular, my teacher will want, or my teacher is going to want, and the magazine shall describe, or it is going to describe. And for the plural, it would be the supervisors will want, the supervisors are going to want, the magazine shall describe, they are going to describe.
I think our students know the future tense now, Gail.
So let's do some exercises and see if they can actually do it.
All right, let's go. Let's complete these with the future tense. Number 1. Pedro to ride his bike to school. What would that be in the future, Gail?
Well, I think that they have various options.
True.
So they could say Pedro is going to ride, or Pedro will ride, or even Pedro shall ride.
Right, good. Okay. Number 2. Jaime to fish with his grandfather next Saturday. Just as we said with Pedro, right? It could be more than one option. So it could be Jaime shall fish with his grandfather next Saturday, or Jaime is going to fish with his grandfather next Saturday.
It can even be Jaime will fish with his grandfather next Saturday as well.
Right. Good. So you do number 3 now.
All right. The girls to swim and dive at the community pool next week. So we have various options. It can be the girls shall swim and dive, or it could even be the girls will swim and dive, or it could be the girls are going to swim and dive at the community pool next week. Any way you want.
Exactly. What about the next one? Roberto to train Paso Fino horses in 2014. Again, various options. The first one could be Roberto shall train Paso Fino horses in 2014. Or he is going to train Paso Fino horses. Or he will train Paso Fino horses. How about you, Gail? What about number 5? Can you do that one?
Sure. He to be one of the best trainers in Puerto Rico. So he will be one of the best trainers in Puerto Rico, or he shall be one of the best trainers in Puerto Rico, or he is
going to be
one of the best trainers in Puerto Rico. Wow, it's fun to make the future tense in such a variety of ways.
Okay, Gail. Let's try to review a little bit before we let our students do their own work. The future tense indicates an action that has not yet occurred, but will take place in the future.
That's correct, Betsy. And the future tense uses will, shall, or the proper present tense of be with going to and the verb.
And to conjugate to be in the plural, how do we do that? We are going to. They
are going to.
Good for you, Gail.
What are they going to do now, Betsy?
Well, simple. They are going to practice. Find your tutor and ask for the simple future tense handout, or download it and print it out so that you have it in front of you.
And you can find that on the online module.
Very good. And don't forget to conjugate be according to the singular or plural subjects.
So complete the exercises, keeping in mind what you learned in today's mini lesson.
After you have finished, review your answers with your tutor.
And good luck.
See you again in another mini module.
Bye.